describe what they look like?
I could, but it would probably take a whole lot of time. The reason I state that, when I got out in 1989, we had cataloged 57 different species. You have individuals that look very much like you and myself that could walk among us and you wouldn't even notice the difference.
The world over will agree to enter into these ships. Oh, the woes! Oh, the great woes! Oh, the fright! Oh, the pain! Oh, the suffering! Oh, the sorrows! For many of you will be killed straight away. You will be served up to these evil hordes as one great feast, and they will feast upon your flesh and upon your blood. For they are not at all human, but you will see many who are part bird and part reptile, and these are the Dragos. They will eat you alive, pecking and clawing at you, and delighting in your fear as they gobble your flesh and drink your blood. For it is your life force that they wish to consume. It is your light that they wish to devour. But some of you who enter into these ships, which will fill the skies, will be saved for greater horrors. For they will invade your bodies, and will take over your bodies, and will use your bodies to further deceive great numbers of people. For their ways are not your ways. They were once of high standing in the upper realms, but they fell. Nevertheless, they are not without certain supernatural powers, and you will not understand their powers. But when you later see some that you have seen and known to go into these ships appear again before your very eyes, you will delight to see once again your friends and family, only to be consumed and devoured alive by the Drago who has taken the body. Therefore, when you see those who go up into these ships, consider them gone, and do not trust your eyes.
They are receiving messages
them again.
from aliens. Now, I believe they really are receiving messages, but they're not from aliens. They're from demons who are pretending to be
in important trades and in important services. Therefore, my warnings to you to come out of the world will be more important than ever, for in your day-to-day activities you will encounter them, yet you will most certainly be deceived by them. That is, all but some very, very few of you. And this deception will be to your undoing. For I warn you now that this is coming. This is going to happen. An alien invasion, false rapture.
Shapeshifters. Does technology exist where someone can create a holograph around themselves? Yes, the technology does exist. Is that technology presently being used on Earth? The answer to that is no. Okay, now, can a regressive entity take over a human body? The answer to that is absolutely yes. And the process is actually very simple. They abduct someone, they bring him to death very slowly, and the moment his last breath, his essence, leaves the body, they replace it with another. Several moments later, that person, that body will rise off the table. It'll be the same physical body.
In a unique manner. This brain plane is going to take people are going to eat the stuff. Because it says spirits, demon spirits, will declare themselves to be inhabitants of 5 distant planets in the galaxies that are coming to warn the inhabitants of planet Earth of the impending destruction of the planet unless something seriously proper is done to avoid it.
Bottom line is the stargates are opening. Even the clouds, the National Oceanographic Administration saying something's happening. The clouds, the normal clouds that used to be at a specific height, are lowering and they're dissipating. That's true. Whatever God made is being taken away. The chemtrails are terraforming the Earth, but that's another story. How do the aliens fit in? Just do a 5-minute, 10-minute just thing, because I don't think people understand that when the Vatican made its, you're going to love the word, quantum shift, to now embrace what they usually teach are demons. And by the way, I was in contact with one of the most prominent sorcerers, an elderly gentleman for the Vatican, so I know from his position what he sees taking place. But so this is a quantum change. Chris dealt with Jerusalem being a critical part of the move, but also how do the aliens fit in? And I'm not trying to take away from Petrus Romanus, but my guess is that they're kissing cousins, okay?
The return of the Nephilim, the fallen angels, the gods themselves, with a small g, they are coming back during the apocalypse time.
Bone-cracking hits to rip like the beaks of a griffin, with sharp pointy tips in the grip of a falcon, grasping with grappling talons and worn on medallions of battling Sith and no man. So many masterfully sculpted renditions, artistically marvelous, monstrous visions, descriptions of possibly authentic dragon-like animals, fossilized mandibles gradually formed by the annual downpours and rainfalls, exposing mysterious samples. Examine examples like cylinder seals, revealing the secrets of serpents unveiled by ubiquitous snaps of a snapdragon. Sounds serendipitous, just like the epic of Gilgamesh. Several conspicuous mythical beasts could exist, and in fact they could actually be crossbreeds from angels who planted the seeds, non-indigenous demons hungry to breed. In the days of Noah, from the book of Enoch, in the path of giants, this antediluvian world full of giants. If we could go back and observe all the things in the Lost Book of Enoch and eavesdrop on Nephilim hybrids and fathers who flocked in a pack of 200 deserters. These tyrants who plundered like pirates and lusted for flesh in a cycle of violence. They squandered like pigs in the mud of defiance. Abnormal like Dr. Moreau in his science. Monsters without any use of a latex appliance. A violent alliance of violent Goliaths, drowned and deluged by the flood into silence. Desirous delinquents, they lost their commission. Now Lucifer's legions, they've turned into demons. Chained and blinded and bound in abyss, living with locusts deep in the pit. In the days of Noah, from the book of Enoch, in the path of giants,
extraterrestrials would fly millions of light years simply to teach New Age philosophy, deny Christianity, and support the occult. And why would the entities actually possess and inhabit people just like demons do if they were really advanced extraterrestrials? Dr. Pierre Guérin, an eminent scientist associated with the French National Council for Scientific Research, concludes that UFO behavior is more akin to magic than to physics as we know it, and that modern UFO-nauts and the demons of past days are probably identical.
You can literally hypnotize a person, tell them that there's a cat in their lap, they will see it, they will hear it, purr, they will pet it and feel it. It's not physically there. You tell the cat to scratch them, you know, and bring them out of it. There are scratch marks on their cheek. A non-physical object, under the right conditions, can leave physical evidence. I think it's demonic. It's a spiritual power of some kind for which there is no physical explanation. You can't explain it with the laws of chemistry and physics as we know it. In Close Encounters of the Third Kind, that first film that came out about UFOs, the house that the mother and little boy were living in, you know, the toys began running around and screws unscrew them in the presence of UFOs. What the film was saying was the same people that run UFOs run haunted houses. And I would say that's absolutely true.
In 1969, the United States Printing Office issued a 400-page publication entitled UFOs and Related Subjects, an Annotated Bibliography. The author was the senior bibliographer for the Library of Congress, Miss Lynn E. Cateau. During her research, she read over 1,000 articles, books, and other literature. She summarizes her findings in the preface of the bibliography. A large part of the available UFO literature is closely linked with mysticism and the metaphysical. It deals with subjects like mental telepathy, automatic writing, and invisible entities, as well as phenomenon like poltergeist manifestations and possession. Many of the UFO reports now being published in the popular press recount alleged incidents that are strikingly similar to demonic possession and psychic phenomenon that have long been known to theologians and parapsychologists. This document was compiled for the United States Air Force and is now in the Library of Congress. Dr. Jacques Vallée has addressed the United Nations on UFOs and was the model for Lacombe in Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. He is the author of 8 books on UFOs and has been widely recognized as the premier investigating scientist in the realm of UFO research. In his book, Messengers of Deception, Vallée says, an impressive parallel can be made between UFO occupants and the popular conception of demons. And in his book, Confrontations, he writes, the medical examinations to which abductees are said to be subjected, often accompanied by sadistic sexual manipulation, is reminiscent of the medieval tales of encounters with demons. He also made this statement, I believe that when we speak of UFO sightings as instances of space visitations, we are looking at the phenomenon on the wrong level. We are not dealing with successive waves of visitations from space. We are dealing with a control system. And he states, UFOs are the means through which man's concepts are being rearranged. They are engaging in a worldwide enterprise of subliminal seduction.
Jacques Vallée, at least at that time when he wrote that book, was an